Welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University. School of Agriculture, SOA. Diploma in Fish Products Technology, DFPT. BPVI 041 Introduction to Fish, Processing, Packaging and Value Addition. Block 1. Unit 3 Fish Spoilage. 3.0 Objectives. After reading this unit, you will be able to identify the reasons for spoilage of fish, discuss the different types of spoilage, detect how fish meat gets rancid, recognize the different types of microorganisms seen in fish, and understand how enzymes can be used to estimate freshness of fish. 3.1 Introduction. You know that fish flesh is an animal food, which gets spoiled rapidly. There are a number of agents present in the fish muscle responsible for the spoilage of fresh fish. The major changes responsible are biochemical, microbial and autolytical changes. There are a number of enzymes present in the intestinal tract of fish which also increase the process of spoilage. Apart from this, numerous bacteria present in the gut also release several enzymes bringing spoilage. In this unit, all these issues are discussed in detail. 3.2 General causes of fish spoilage. You know very well that as long as fish is alive, no spoilage takes place in the fish muscle. When fish dies, the biochemical changes responsible for anabolism stop. As an inevitable consequence of this process of cessation of anabolism, catabolism starts bringing spoilage to fish flesh. The digestive enzymes, still being active, instead of acting on the food present inside the gut, begin to digest tissue components such as lipids, carbohydrates and proteins. This process is called autolysis. In addition to this, the native bacteria present in the fish also multiply very rapidly. These bacteria also secrete a number of enzymes causing rapid breakdown of fish tissues. Another factor responsible for the deterioration in quality of fish results from oxidation of lipids causing rancid flavor to fish meat. Apart from these changes, autolysis also causes fading of pigments, development of off flavor and browning. The rapid colonization and multiplication of bacteria and the autolytic changes eventually complete the total breakdown of fish muscle. The net result is spoilage, making the fish inedible for man. 3.3 Changes occurring after fish death. You know very well that the moment fish is removed out of water, in other words, fish is caught, spoilage of flesh begins. The following sections give you a detailed knowledge of these changes. 3.3.1 Rigor mortis. One important action determining the onset of spoilage in freshly caught fish is rigor mortis, the stiffening of the body. Usually, this develops within 7 hours after death. Rigor mortis sets in and passes quickly in very active fish but slowly in inert fish. This period depends on the glycogen reserve of the fish. If this reserve is less by struggle of the fish before capture, process of setting rigor is quick compared to a fish which has undergone lesser struggles during capture. Spoilage really starts after the resolution of rigor mortis. Hence, you should remember that it is ideal that the fish should not be allowed to undergo much struggle during capture. As long as the fish is alive, its circulating system functions even after capture. One of the consequences of the cessation of the circulating system is stoppage of oxygen supply to cells. But the oxygenated glycogen-rich muscle can remain metabolically active for hours in pre-rigor condition. In the living tissues, aerobic breakdown of glucose is the normal reaction that takes place, in which every molecule of glucose is oxidized, resulting in the synthesis of 36 molecules of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. After death, anaerobic breakdown of glucose takes place. As a result, synthesis of ATP stops and its breakdown, hydrolysis, begins. After a period, ATP hydrolysis is completed. This is followed by the production of lactic acid in the muscle. The concentration of lactic acid formed in muscle tissues is dependent on the glycogen reserve. Prior to death, you will be surprised to know that one of the problems associated with accumulation of lactic acid in muscle is the lowering of the pH. pH equals a unit of measurement to denote acidity or alkalinity. Values of pH below 7 are acidic and above 7 are alkaline, vary from near neutrality, pH 7, to acidic range, pH 6. The decline in pH from 7 to 6 affects the quality of fish tissues. The fish muscle turns firm and a tendency to produce drip, loss of water-soluble proteins, is enhanced. A number of biochemical changes also take place during this period that results in lowering of quality of fish. One of the most important changes is the structural change of the native proteins in fish muscle. Finally, a stage will come when all the ATP is broken down. At this stage the muscle becomes stiff. This stage is called rigor mortis, or we say that the fish entered the inert stage of rigor mortis. 3.3.2 ATP breakdown. The ultimate end product of ATP breakdown is urea. One compound formed by the process is hypoxanthine, HX. This compound is formed by the action of tissue enzyme and bacterial enzymes jointly. The extremely fresh fish has a hypoxanthine value of 0 or near 0, but in the spoiled fish, it reaches as high as 8 micromolecules per gram of fish muscle. Hence, measurement of hypoxanthine value can be considered as a rate of spoilage of fish. But estimation is a very cumbersome process and usually carried out only by researchers and in regular quality control methods. But there are some abnormalities in the values also. Of the total of 150 species of fish studied so far, only 120 species agree to this theory. There are some fish in which hypoxanthine breaking enzyme, xanthine oxidase activity is high. In such fish, the value of hypoxanthine will be low even if the fish is spoiled. There are also fishes that have low xanthine oxidase activity. Such fish will have high hypoxanthine values even in extremely fresh condition. 3.4 Major changes during spoilage of fish. You must be aware of the fact that fish once caught and kept in ambient temperature undergoes several changes, and these cause deterioration in quality. Eventually, the fish becomes inedible, or in other words, the fish is spoiled. There are 4 important types of spoilage mechanisms. These are discussed below. 1. Physical, sensory changes. 2. Chemical spoilage. 3. Microbial spoilage. 4. Oxidative changes of fat. 3.4.1 Physical changes and methods of evaluation. Important changes that happen in the fish and which can be measured physically come under physical changes. The quality of fish is evaluated based on the following points. 1. Meat becomes soft. 2. Eyes lose transparency. 3. Fresh fish eye is convex but becomes concave once spoiled. 4. Smell changes. You will agree that among the above changes, odor change is the most significant. Fresh fish has a seaweedy smell. During spoilage, the odor changes as follows. Very good, fresh seaweedy fish or shellfish smell, shrimp. Good, loss of seaweediness or shellfish smell. Fair, no odor, acidic smell or milky odor. Edible, smell of lactic acid or sour milk. Non-edible, acetic acid, butyric acid, grassy, fruity smell. Ammoniacal smell, due to formation of ammonia by putrefaction. Smell of hydrogen sulfide, strong ammoniacal. Putrid, ammonia smell. The above scheme is only a practical one. In UK, for white fish, the scale comes to 18 points for putrefied fish. For tropical fish, no such scale is worked out because of the large number of fish species available. But the 9-point scale worked out is fairly satisfactory and can be uniformly applied to most species. There are some parameters which influence spoilage. These are given in Table 3.1. Table 3. 1. Factors responsible and rate of spoilage. Look at the screen. Special grading of fish based on freshness. In Europe, the most commonly used quality grading by Fish Inspection System European Union scheme, EU scheme, for fish is given below. A. Extremely fresh, highest quality. A. Medium quality, acceptable. B. Poor, unacceptable. 3.4.2 Chemical methods of evaluation of spoilage. A number of chemical tests have been described to determine the rate of spoilage, but most of them are tedious and cannot be applied regularly for quality control. Some of them are discussed below for your information. A. Trimethylamine, TMA. You will be surprised to know that a chemical called trimethylamine is responsible for the fishy smell in marine fish. Estimation of TMA is Excellent method of estimating freshness of fish. TMA is formed from trimethylamine oxide, TMAO, which is an osmoregulatory and buffering compound found in many marine teleosts, elasmobranchs and shellfish like shrimp. Freshwater fish contain very little amount of TMAO in this method of assessment of freshness is not suitable to them. On spoilage, TMAO is reduced to TMA by following reactions. Enzyme called triamine oxidase activates the substrate, TMAO, and then it is reduced to TMA by a bacterial dehydrogenase. This enzyme is present in psychrotropic bacteria, egg, Achromobacter. This bacterium invades dead fish tissues and reduces TMAO to TMA. As the fish spoils, TMA concentrations in fish flesh increase rapidly. This TMA test is a useful method of estimating bacterial spoilage. You will be happy to know that there are a number of methods available for estimation of TMA in fish, but the most widely used method is the Conway microdiffusion method described by Beatty and Gibbons. TMA and limits of quality. For cod, 15-TERAMEGAAMPERE nitrogen, 100 grams products. The quality is rated very good. A value above 10 to 15 milligrams TMA nitrogen, 100 grams fish can be regarded spoiled and not edible. However, it should be noted that rate of TMA content with spoilage varies from species to species. B. Total volatile base, TVB. Spoilage of the fish results in the formation of several nitrogenous bases in fish muscle. They include ammonia, trimethylamine, dimethylamine and other bases. All of them are volatile. Ammonia is the most important base present. The formation of volatile bases in fish muscle with increase in spoilage vary from species to species. All the volatile bases contain nitrogen. Hence, the TVB values are usually expressed as milligram of nitrogen, 100 grams fish flesh. TVB value is one of the indices expressing the rate of spoilage of fish. When the TVB value exceeds 35 to 30 milligrams nitrogen, 100 grams fish, whole chilled fish can be considered spoiled. TVB value is not a very sensitive, accurate index of assessing the freshness of a fish as the values are found to vary very much. One of the best methods of estimation of TVB value is the steam distillation of a deproteinized mussel extract. Trichloroactic acid is used to deproteinize the mussel extract. A fixed volume of the distillate is collected and titrated against a standard acid. While TMA value can only be used for estimating freshness of marine fish, TVB values can be used for estimating spoilage of both marine and fresh water fish. Hence, TVB values have a wider application in quality evaluation of fish than TMA. C. Peroxide value, PV. Oxidative rancidity in fish meat is measured by estimating the peroxide value. Oxidative rancidity occurs at a fast rate in fatty fishes like sardine and mackerel. The PV is estimated by noting the amount of iodine released from potassium iodide by the hydroperoxide formed by oxidation of fat. The iodine released is estimated by tetrametric determination using a standard solution, 0.002 Na2. So 3, of sodium thiosulfate. PV equals numbers of milliliters of 0.002 N sodium thiosulfate needed to titrate the iodine liberated by 1 gram of fat extracted from fish. When PV is above 10 to 20, the fish is said to be rancid. D. Thiobarbituric acid value, TBA. PV value is the first reaction during oxidation of fat by forming hydroperoxides. But then, slowly the hydroperoxides break down to substances that give the objectionable rancid flavor. These compounds react with thiobarbituric acid to form pink-colored complexes. These are photometrically estimated. TBA value is expressed as micromoles of malonaldehyde present in 1 gram of fat extracted from the sample. When a TBA value is above 2, the fish can be considered rancid. 3.4.3 Microbial spoilage and evaluation. We all know that fish harbor a large bacterial population. Microorganisms are present on the skin, surface, gills and in the intestines. Usually, the bacterial load is in the range of 103 to 105 per square centimeter in the case of skin surface, 103 equals 1000. 104 equals 10,000 etc. The bacterial population in case of gills ranges from 104 to 105 per gram. When fish dies, these bacteria multiply and proliferate with the tissues, causing deterioration of fish muscle. The bacterial action is heavy on proteins. Chilling the fish can control the multiplication of bacteria. During chilling, particularly with ice, the normal bacteria present in fish growing at room temperature get easily destroyed. They are sensitive to cold. Only bacteria tolerant to cold temperature survive. They take longer time to multiply. Hence, icing invariably slows down bacterial spoilage. Usually, a shelf life extension of 6 to 10 days is thus obtained if icing is properly done. Based on temperature tolerance, bacteria are divided into three classes. I. Mesophilic bacteria. Mesophilic bacteria live in room temperature, 20 to 45 degrees Celsius. Majority of bacteria fall in this group. They grow within the temperature range of 20 to 45 degrees Celsius with an optimum of 30 to 37 degrees Celsius. Most pathogenic bacteria fall in this group, e.g. Salmonella, Escherichia, Staphylococcus, E. Psychrophilic bacteria. They are cold-loving bacteria and grow in temperatures between 0 to 20 degrees Celsius. Their optimum growth temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. This group is the principal bacteria that cause spoilage of foods kept in refrigerated temperatures. In actual practice, these types of organisms are not really encountered. Those bacteria seen growing in cold temperatures are often adapted to grow in elevated temperatures up to 35 degrees Celsius. Such bacteria are called psychrotropic bacteria. X. Pseudomonas, Alteromonas, Acinetobacter, E. Thermophilic bacteria. Tolerate high temperatures, normally 45 to 70 degrees Celsius. Their optimum growth temperature is 55 degrees Celsius. Bacteria belonging to this group are rare, e.g. Bacillus, Stearothermophilus. Again, based on their oxygen requirements, bacteria are again divided into two classes or groups. They are I. Aerobic bacteria, bacteria requiring presence of air or oxygen for growth, e.g. Bacillus. E. Anaerobic, bacteria that grow in the absence of oxygen or air, e.g. Clostridium. Depending on the environments, pollution of water bodies and salt contents. Bacterial flora of fish vary from water to water. Bacteria are mainly present on the skin and gills of fish. Bacterial flora of a typical marine fish are given in Table 3.2 below. Table 3.2, Bacterial flora of marine fish. Marine fish oil sardine, Sardinella longiceps, skin with slime per centimeter 2103-107. Gills per gram 105 to 108. Skin with contents per gram 105 to 109. Source: Surendran and Nirmala, Textbook of Fish Processing Technology, Editor. K. Gopakumar, K. ICAR Publication, 2002, pp. 112. Staining of bacteria. The shapes of bacteria are identified using a microscope. To make the shapes very clear, they are painted with organic dye. This process is called staining of bacteria. The commonly used dyes are dilute solutions of methylene blue, crystal violet or carbol-fuchsin. A. Differential staining. In differential staining, two or more dyes are used to stain bacterial cells. This process helps to identify differences between bacterial groups or different components of a bacterial cell. The well-known differential techniques are gram staining and acid fast staining. B. Gram staining. This technique was developed by Christian Gram in 1884. The two stains used in this method are I. Crystal violet, a para-rosaniline dye. E. Safranine. Process. The bacterial film in a glass plate, called slide, is stained by a dilute solution of crystal violet and ammonium oxalate. This is called primary staining and is usually done for a minute. The stained plate is washed with water to remove the stain. Then, a dilute solution of iodine in potassium iodide, is applied on the film in the plate and allowed to act for 1 minute. Then, the slide plate is then stained by washing with ethyl alcohol. Finally, safranine is added to the slide to act as a counter stain and allowed to remain for a minute. The slide is washed with water. Dried in. Observed under a microscope. Some bacteria retain the violet stain of crystal violet even after washing with alcohol. They are called gram-positive, G-way. Other bacteria which fail to retain crystal violet but take the counter stain, safranine, and appear red are called gram-negative, G-way. Based on gram staining, bacteria are divided into two groups. Gram-way, Bacillus, Staphylococcus. Gram-way, Escherichia, Salmonella, Vibrios. Bacterial flora seen in the skin of freshly caught fish. It is seen that nearly 85% of the bacterial flora seen in the skin of marine fish are gram-negative, but in the skin surface of a typical freshwater fish they are only 57%. The rest are gram-positives. Freezing of fish causes death of bacteria to the extent of 60 to 90% depending on the initial native flora of fish. The survivors are mainly gram-positive bacteria and they cannot grow and cause spoilage of frozen fish. However, during the thawing of the frozen fish, these surviving bacteria cause spoilage of the thawed fish. The rate of spoilage during thawing is greater when thawing is done at room temperature compared to thawing at 10 degrees Celsius or cold temperatures. Once rigor mortis stops, bacterial spoilage becomes rapid. This change is accompanied by the rise of muscle pH from acid range to alkaline range, sometimes up to pH 8, due to accumulation of volatile bases like ammonia and trimethylamine. TMA, produced by spoilage of fish. TMA is produced by the reduction of trimethylamine oxide, TMAO, as well as flesh enzymes. It was also reported that an enzyme system capable of deaminating TMA to dimethylamine and formaldehyde is present in several fish species. There are a number of species of bacteria present in fish which contain an enzyme called histidine decarboxylase that convert the amino acid histidine by decarboxylation, removing carbon dioxide, to histamine. Histamine is toxic to man and produces allergies. Fish like tuna and mackerel are some species that contain histamine. However, if cooled properly after capture, histamine is not produced below 15 degrees Celsius. 3.4.4 Assessment of fish spoilage through enzymatic techniques. The level of fish spoilage can be tested through various enzymatic tests, which are as follows. 1. Estimation of hypoxanthine. Estimation of hypoxanthine is cumbersome and cannot be measured routinely. For assessing freshness, the various enzymes responsible for fish spoilage and their activity in relation to freshness are given in Table 3.3. Table 3.3, Enzyme activity and changes in quality indices during post-mortem changes. Look at the screen. 2. K value is index of freshness. Do you know that today K value is considered as the best index for accurately predicting the freshness of fish? It is calculated by estimating various breakdown products of ATP using HPLC, an accurate method of separating compounds. K value is defined as K% equals H into R plus HX into 100 upon ATP ADP AMP imp H into RHX, where ATP adenosine 5 triphosphate, ADP adenosine 5 diphosphate, AMP adenosine monophosphate, HXR inosine, HX hypoxanthine. K value has excellent correlation with freshness of fish when evaluated by the sensory methods. Table 3.4 gives K values of some common fishes. Table 3.4, the K values of some commercially important fish, and relation to sensory score. Look at the screen. 3. Thiobarbituric acid number, TBA. Oxidative rancidity is frequently expressed in terms of TBA number or milligram of malonaldehyde per kilogram of material or micromoles of malonaldehyde per 1 gram of fat extract from sample. Fish develop rancid smell when TBA number is above 1-2 micromoles per gram of oil. 4. Histidine decarboxylase. Among the decarboxylases, the most important one responsible for fish quality control is histidine decarboxylase, producing histamine from parent amino acid, histidine. A number of bacteria isolated from tropical fish contain this enzyme. Most pelagic fish and scombroid fish contain appreciable amount of histamine in free state as well as bound state in their proteins. Histidine is converted by bacterial enzyme histidine decarboxylase into free histamine. Histamine develops In freshly caught fish 40 to 50 hours after death when fish is not chilled properly. 5. Trimethylamine oxide reductase. During fish spoilage, this compound is reduced to trimethylamine, TMA, a volatile base, responsible for the fishy smell. TMAO is reduced partly by intrinsic and mainly by bacterial enzymes of the group reductases, gradual reduction of TMAO causing increase in concentration of TMA. Only marine fish contain TMAO. For good quality fish, a TMA nitrogen level of 1.25 to 2 mg, 100 grams fish is recommended. ATMA nitrogen 10 to 15 milligrams, 100 gm fish can be considered a safety limit beyond which most chilled fish become spoiled. 6. Demonases. Determination of TVB values is a good index of fish spoilage. TVB values are usually expressed as nitrogen equivalents, say, total volatile nitrogen values. TVN. A value of 50 to 70 milligrams of TVN nitrogen, 100 grams fish can be taken as an upper limit beyond which whole fresh fish is considered inedible. However, for salted and dried fish TVB level up to 200 mg, 100 grams fish can be considered acceptable. 7. Decarboxylases. There are several decarboxylases of endogenic and exogenic origin, mainly bacterial origins, responsible for fish spoilage. They produce biogenic amines, like histamine, putrescine, cadaverine and also volatile bases ammonia, TMA. DMA. 8. Lysosomal enzymes. Rapid freezing and thawing of fish results in irreversible damage of mitochondria. One of the consequences of this process is the release of several lysosomal enzymes into the sarcoplasm. Some of these enzymes play a significant role in fish muscle damage, particularly alpha-glucosidase, beta and glucosaminidase, and acid phosphatase. 9. Lipoxygenases. The role of lipoxygenases in the degradation of quality of fish by bringing oxidative rancidity and development of rancid flavor in fish muscle is well established. 3.5 Sensory tests. You will be surprised to know that the ultimate test that gives the idea whether the fish is edible or not is done by eating the fish. This is done by a panel of expert fish testers. Cooked fish is normally given for testing by touching the fish, eating the fish or tasting it for following parameters. I. Texture. This is done by expert panel members by touching and pressing the fish meat. E. Flavor. By putting in the mouth and chewing the fish meat. E. Rancidity. By smelling the odor and sensing it by chewing the meat. Each of these parameters are graded in a 100-point scale and finally the overall quality of the fish is rated on a 10-point scale from 0 to 10. At point 10, the fish is of finest quality rated excellent and at 5 score, average in. Below 5 inedible and scale 2 to 0 it is to be considered spoiled and not edible. This scale is called usually the head and neck scale. The Torrey Research Station in Scotland first developed this scale in England. There are no satisfactory single indexes by which the freshness of fish can be defined. Chemical, microbial and enzymatic changes should be compared with sensory values to predict freshness. 3.6 Summary. Fish spoil rapidly if not preserved properly. The various changes that take place during spoilage of fresh fish fall under the following heads. 1. Autolytic, changes by enzymes present in the fish gut. 2. Oxidative rancidity and resultant changes in taste and smell of fish caused by the degradation of fish fat. 3. Biochemical changes taking place in the fish. 4. Growth of putrefying bacteria present in the fish. 5. Denaturation of fish proteins. 6. Hydrolysis of fish fat and proteins by tissue enzymes and microbial enzymes. As a result of all the above changes, the organoleptic quality of fish changes. In eating, quality of fish is affected and fish becomes inedible. A fish can be certified edible by organoleptic quality, but if it is contaminated with bacteria causing disease to man, the fish is inedible. But if it is free from harmful bacteria, but is rancid, oxidation of fat and formation of degradation products of fat called carbonyl compounds, the fish is again inedible. Thus, there is no single test to define spoilage rate or edibility quality of fish. To know whether The fish is edible, it has to be tested by chemical, microbial and sensory evaluation tests. Thank you.